Europe was starving. This man was giving away so much gold that he accidentally destroyed another country's economy, and he didn't even notice. His name was Mansa Musa, and he was so rich, he broke the world by accident. Too rich to ignore. Let's talk about the number first, because it matters. Historians estimate Mansa Musa's wealth at $400 billion in today's money. But here's what that figure doesn't tell you. Economists say it may actually be incalculable, because Musa didn't just have money, he controlled the source of money itself. At his peak, the Mali Empire produced more than half of the entire world's gold supply. Not half of Africa's gold, half of the world's. That means every gold coin, every gold ring, every gold-tipped sword in Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia. A significant portion of all of it traced back to one man's land, one man's mines, one man's permission. To understand how Musa got this rich, you need to understand what he was handed and what he built on top of it. The Mali Empire was founded in 1235 by Sundiata Keita, a warrior king who unified West Africa's Mande people after defeating the Soso kingdom. What Sundiata realized, and what every king after him protected with their life, was that beneath Mali's soil sat the world's richest gold deposits, the mines of Bambouk, the mines of Buri, rivers that literally ran with gold dust every rainy season. But gold alone wasn't the whole picture. The empire also controlled the Saharan salt trade. And in the medieval world, salt was as valuable as gold. Mali sat at the exact crossroads where these two commodities met. Every merchant, every caravan, every trader going from sub-Saharan Africa to North Africa had to pass through Mali's territory, and they paid for that privilege. This wasn't just a kingdom sitting on resources, it was a toll booth on the highway of the medieval world. Mansa Musa came to power in 1312 under unusual circumstances. The king before him, Abu Bakr II, had become obsessed with finding out what lay beyond the Atlantic Ocean. He built 2,000 boats, loaded them with men and supplies, and sailed west. He was never seen again. Some historians believe he may have reached the Americas 180 years before Columbus. Musa, who had been serving as deputy, stepped into the throne. And unlike most kings who inherit power, Musa didn't maintain the empire. He transformed it. He centralized the gold mines under direct royal control. He standardized trade. He expanded the army. Within a decade, Mali wasn't just the richest kingdom in Africa, it was arguably the richest on earth. In 1324, Mansa Musa decided to make his Hajj, the Islamic pilgrimage to Mecca. Every Muslim who can make this journey is required to. But Musa didn't travel the way most people travel. He brought 60,000 people with him. His personal servants, 12,000 of them, were dressed head to toe in silk and Persian brocade. 500 servants walked ahead of him, each carrying a golden staff weighing 6 pounds. And his caravan included 80 camels, each one carrying 300 pounds of pure gold dust. In total, 12 tons of gold moving across the Sahara. This was not a religious trip. This was the most expensive flex in human history. When the caravan reached Cairo, something extraordinary happened. Musa began giving gold away, not as a transaction, not as an investment, just giving to beggars, to mosques, to every merchant and street vendor he passed. His entourage bought goods at whatever price was asked, tipping in gold without negotiating. For 3 months, gold poured into the Egyptian economy like water from a broken dam. And then the damage became visible. Cairo's merchants, who had carefully managed gold's value for centuries, watched helplessly as the price of gold collapsed by 25%. Goods that had cost one price now cost triple. Inflation swept across Egypt, then across the entire Middle East. And it stayed that way for 12 years. One man's generosity, one man's caravan, 12 years of economic damage. Here's the part of the story most people skip. When Musa returned from Mecca, he brought back an architect named Abu Ishaq al-Sahili and spent the equivalent of 200 kilograms of gold commissioning him to redesign Timbuktu. What followed was a building boom that turned a dusty trading post into one of the most important cities on the planet. At its height, Timbuktu's Sankore University educated 25,000 students simultaneously, at a time when Oxford had fewer than 3,000. Its library housed up to 700,000 handwritten manuscripts covering astronomy, medicine, mathematics, and law. Think about that. While Europe was in the middle of the Dark Ages, a king in West Africa was funding the largest university on Earth. Mansa Musa didn't just accumulate wealth, he weaponized it. And for one extraordinary generation, it worked. Mansa Musa died around 1337, and almost immediately, the machine started breaking. His son couldn't hold the trade routes. The gold mines slipped out of royal control. Within 4 years of Musa's death, Timbuktu was sacked. Within 60 years, the Mali Empire had fragmented into civil war. The fortune that had taken a century to build was gone in 2 generations. How? 3 failures. No succession plan. Every transition became a violent power struggle. No diversification, the entire empire rested on gold, and when the mines thinned, there was nothing underneath. And no loyalty infrastructure. Musa's generosity had bought admiration, not allegiance. The moment the gold stopped flowing, so did the support. 700 years later, we're still talking about Mansa Musa. Not because of the number. $400 billion doesn't really mean anything to most people. We're talking about him because of what he represents. A man who understood that wealth is not a destination, it's a tool. And like any tool, it's only as good as the hand that wields it, and the plan that guides that hand. Musa built universities, he funded scholars, he created infrastructure, he thought beyond himself. And when he stopped thinking beyond himself, when the next generation stopped thinking beyond themselves, 700 years of accumulated power evaporated in a single lifetime. That's not just history. That's a warning. If this changed the way you think about money, subscribe. Next week, we're going inside the Rothschild family, the banking dynasty that funded both sides of the Napoleonic Wars and walked away richer from both. See you then.